folks, this is my second attempt at a focaccia using no recipe and no measurements. So last time I made a few errors. It still turned out really tasty, but this time I'm going to really try to hone in and figure out some of the places I screwed up. So hopefully it'll go a little bit better today. So first off, I'm still using bread flour, still want that chewiness, and I think I'm going to do more this time. Just so that it'll be a little bit thicker in the pan. Last time I had quite a few air bubbles, but it was not high enough, so I think I just used too large a pan, or just not enough dough itself. So I'm going to add a bit more than last time. So again, we're doing quite a bit of salt. I thought I had a great salt level last time, so I'm going to just do a couple good pinches of salt. A little pinch of sugar. I think that helped contribute to the really glassy bottom I got. And that's what I really love in a focaccia, is you get a crispy bottom, a crispy top, and a nice soft middle. The problem last time is we didn't quite have enough soft middle to go with the sticky, or the crispy top and bottom. So now I got my yeast going in, and I'm going to do a touch more yeast than last time, just to help encourage it. I think my fridge runs pretty cold, so the dough rises really slowly in there. Even though last time I did it for 2 days, it took a whole day before it got even close to doubling in size. So I'm going to mix that up real quick, just to incorporate it. Now a little olive oil in the dough. Okay, and so one of my main problems last time is not having that fluffy center, so I think I'm going to do slightly more hydration this time. I thought it was fairly good last time, but I think it'll help with the rise. I got a little bit warmer water this time too. And I'm going to let this sit out just maybe 10 minutes before I put it in the fridge so it can get going. So just slowly adding in that water. We'll see where that gets us. I was thinking about one benefit about learning how to do this without using a recipe, without using measurements, is that I could really throw this together super quickly. Like, just knock it out as fast as possible. So that will be a benefit once I learn these things. So that's another something interesting. As we get into more different cooking topics, I think it'll explore more of the creativity aspect of creating your own perfect dish and knowing how to pull the levers of what makes food taste great for you. Like, some people may like it extra crispy, like mine was last time. Like, it would be perfect. I made sandwiches out of it. It was fantastic. Would it be perfect to cube up and put on a salad? Like, it would have been like fantastic croutons. So you can see it here. The dough is starting to stretch. It is really lumpy. It's just about the texture I'm wanting it. Maybe just a hint more water. Last time, it definitely will smooth out more, so I'm going to just put a touch. Once this fully smooths out, then I can make final adjustments to the water. Oh yeah, the smoothness is really coming out. Like, I can even smell the yeast starting to activate. It is delicious smelling already. While that's going, I'm going to oil up my bowl. So just a couple tablespoons. It's stuck really bad in this bowl last time, so I may do it even more, but I think that's just the hydration of the dough. It's something to deal with, but like, it's not insurmountable. Like, you just pull it out, some of it sticks, you rip off the little pieces and you put it back together. Like, it isn't a big deal at all. Okay, so we've been mixing for about 15 minutes here, so we're gonna give it a good checkup. See how it's doing. It's looking much smoother, much tauter. The stretch is not looking that great. You can see how it tears. The tears, it's kind of clumpy. I don't like that. So it definitely needs more mixing time. We'll lock it and keep going. Probably another 5 minutes here. I'm going to turn it down here. I'm wondering if I'm actually destroying the long gluten strands that I'm making by having it mix it at too high a speed. The lower you mix it, the better it'll be. So I should really keep that in mind instead of trying to rush it. It'll just make it actually take longer. Okay, so we're looking much smoother, much more homogeneous now. Let's see how we're looking as it falls. This is what I'm really looking for. I think this can tell you a lot. It's a little less clumpy, a lot more strands, giving me hope. Let me give it a feel. How's it feeling? It feels extra sticky, very wet. It's stretchy. It's a little clumpy for my liking though. You can see it's kind of bumpy on it. I wonder if that is just unincorporated flour or what. Maybe it's just not a high enough hydration to be that. It's super wet. It's very, very sticky and glutinous. Like, this look like it'll make some good strands. So I've been mixing this about 15 minutes. The question is whether I take it longer or not. I don't think I do. I think it'll probably turn out okay. I mean, especially since I'm going to be keeping it in the fridge for 2 days to have it develop and rise more, so more gluten will develop during that time too. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this out of there into this bowl. This is a much, much stickier dough than last time. So, with that said, I'm actually rubbing down the sides again with olive oil and getting it all over my hands so I could maybe come out of this not spending 15 minutes washing up afterwards, but who knows. It feels really luscious and nice, actually. Like, that's pretty good. I feel like the gluten development may not quite be there. Oh, nope, it's stuck. It's stuck hard. Oh, yep. Oh, I should have dumped this more like a batter. Oh man, I am one-handed. This is something else. Okay, I got the bowl cleaned up and myself cleaned up and just a little more olive oil on top. I don't mind if this dough gets covered in olive oil because that's just what it's going to end up happening when I put it in the pan, and this will make it hopefully just a touch easier. This thing should blow up into a huge sticky monstrosity though. It's feeling much better that I got it out, like, and put some oil on top. Like, it is, I don't think gluten is the problem. It is very stretchy. So, hopefully, it'll do pretty well. We'll come back in 2 days and check on it then, and get it going. Okay, so it's been 2 days that it's been in the fridge, developing nice flavor. It has grown quite a bit. The bubbles are looking quite nice. Let's see how it feels. It is definitely much softer, more pliable than the previous one. So I'm thinking that's a really good sign. I'm hoping for more of a rise this time. So let's get it in our sheet pan and get it rising, and then we'll bake it off. So first off, good deal of olive oil here. Plenty of salt. Some pepper. This pepper is actually a mix of white, black, and pink pepper. I find that it all tastes very similar. The pink is definitely distinct, but when it's mixed all together, it's fine. I'm using even more oregano than I did last time. I really love the oregano flavor here. And yeah, it didn't burn at all, even being on the bottom, and me overcooking it last time, so it'll hold up just fine. And this time I'm adding some fresh rosemary. I think those will just kind of add a little bit more to it. So I can already tell this is not going to be enough olive oil here. That's looking much better. Okay, so let's get the dough in there. Ooh, it is very soft. Feeling nice. All the air just rushed out of it, so it was quite inflated. Okay, and so it's just stretching it out. One other thing that I'm going to do is make sure to cover this so a skin doesn't form. Last time I didn't cover it, I thought the olive oil on top would be enough to prevent a skin from forming on the dough, but it did dry out a little bit. So I think that was another thing that really contributed to the lack of rise in our last one. So we're right at the corners now. As this puffs up, it'll fill out those very edges too. So I'm not super concerned about having it flush with the very corners. It'll grow into it. So I'm just going to finish off with a little extra pepper and a little extra herbs and salt. I thought the last one had a great flavor of the bread itself, but I do like the nice herbal component. And it works really well if you're making it into sandwiches or just even dipping it in olive oil. Okay. So we'll let this go for about an hour here and come back when it is risen up. Okay, so it's been about an hour now. We have good and bad news about the rise though. It was doing really good. We had a nice dome here, and then I took off the plastic wrap, and the top kind of stuck to it, and it all deflated. So, that wasn't the best option for things here. I'm just gonna put some dimples. It's still nice and frothy, though. I'm trying not to crush it quite as much as the last time I did it. Hopefully, it'll rise. Just a touch more olive oil. Ooh, I want to spread it out a little, but it's really sticky dough, so it's quite high hydration, which hopefully will contribute to the rise. So I'm going to watch this really closely in my oven. It'll probably take about 10 minutes, I'm thinking. I'll check on it then and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so I just pulled it out of the oven. It didn't quite get the rise I was looking for here, but it's looking pretty nice. Definitely not as hard as last time, so it looks like a good bake. The only problem I see is that there is some stickage on the sides. I'm hoping the bottom isn't quite as bad. Hopefully the olive oil did a good job of crisping up the bread so it lifts off easy. But we'll find out in a couple minutes when it cools down. Then I'll transfer it onto the cooling rack and then we'll give it a taste. Okay, so it's cooled down and it's ready to taste. From the looks of it, it definitely looks really nice. The air pockets in there are super, super good. It looks consistent throughout. Oh yeah, it's a really fantastic texture, and it is thicker this time. I would have liked it a little bit thicker, maybe another 20% thicker or so. It's going to be difficult to like cut this in half and make sandwiches if I'm going to do that. The fresh rosemary adds to it. I really like it. Um, yeah. The bottom is still glassy, so it's still nice. I could have done it a little bit longer and it would have got a little crisper, but right now it's just super tender and delicate on the inside. So overall, this is a really good focaccia. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I think my salt needs to be a little bit more, especially on the top. I need to season the top with salt more. And I should have made a little bit more dough, and I should have used a little bit more olive oil on the bottom of the pan. It was actually really tough to get out. Let me flip the whole bread over here. But you can kind of see some of the spots where it got caught just around the pan. Yeah. But other than that, it is looking amazing. It has a really good olive oil flavor, so I think I put the right amount on the top. Sometimes these focaccias can get a little greasy. Let me know if you have any other good ideas for how to improve this focaccia bread. I will be making this one again. I want to get this down perfect. So until I think it's perfect, I'm going to keep making it. I'm going to keep trying and I'm going to keep improving. Thank you so much.